From Stark Vegas, baby, Vegas. A critical SEC Saturday on the road to the Final Four. The Mississippi State Bulldogs eyeing their first NCAA tournament appearance in a decade, while Cal's Cats roll down from the Bluegrass, winners of 9 straight. In the SEC standings, the nation's #1 team, the Tennessee Vols, still a game ahead of Kentucky. 2 meetings still to come. Mississippi State after an overtime loss to LSU at 4-5. At the Hump with Bill Raftery, I'm Carter Blackburn. And yes, we are nearing March, Bill, which means for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, this is a critical opportunity. For Kentucky, dare I say, cutting down the nets in April, always the goal.
It's so nice working with somebody my age again. I really appreciate it. Of course, everybody knows how good Kentucky's been playing defense, but particularly the last couple of weeks. Can Mississippi State match that? Can they get extra possessions? I think that's the key for them.
For the noon Central Time start, let's take a look at who to keep an eye on.
Well, there's a few people that are really talented. Quinndary is a really solid basketball player. Weatherspoon, there's 2 of them. We'll explain that as we get into the game, but he can play the post area, step out. What I love the most, he as a drive, draw guy, or finish, he's very strong at the rim. And counter that, the inside play of P.J. Washington, he's begging for the ball more. They're passing the ball better. He's able to put it on the deck and finish around the rim. And oh yes, he can get the puppies organized and drill the deep one.
And you look at that stretch of the last 5 games for P.J. Washington, it started against Mississippi State. Quinndary Weatherspoon's been a terrific scorer all 4 years at Mississippi State, especially the last 4. And speaking of scoring, our AT&T Fast Analysis.
So many talented guys out here, Carl. We get to enjoy them. Of course, the ability to fill the lane that Keldon Johnson possesses. He can rebound and bring it up himself, but he's very good in the open floor, good hesitation, the ability to draw to and power through, and occasionally get to the free throw line. But how about this? Seton Hall gets them into overtime with the deep one. This is the key, I think, the play of Lamar Peters. He does love to refuse the ball screen and get to the rim. I think the key for him is to drive, draw, and dish and find some people. If he does that, they got a big-time opportunity today.
In fact, that puppy is getting organized. He's a grown Bulldog now, Bully 21. 36 days from Selection Sunday, a Saturday stop in Starkville on the road to the Final Four. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Infinity. Empower the drive. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. And by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. The Jack Crystal Highway takes you into Starkville, Mississippi, where they are fond of saying, Hail State. John Calipari told his team, forget about beating the Bulldogs 18 days ago. Going to be a totally different environment today. Cats, same starting 5 with the freshman Ashton Higgins running point on both ends of the floor. Reggie Perry, 3rd game back in the starting 5 of the Bulldogs. Coached by Ben Howland, now in his 4th year with the Bulldogs. He's led Northern Arizona, Pitt, and UCLA to the NCAA tournament, trying to make it 4 for 4 with Mississippi State. Don Daly, Chuck Jones, Owen Short, our officiating crew today for Peter Venkman's favorite SEC matchup, Cats versus Dogs. Kentucky versus Mississippi State.
Hold on, Carter Blackburn, right now. The Cats go a little Minuteman.
And that Minuteman has been especially good of late for the Kentucky Wildcats. One of the reasons they are on this 9-game winning streak.
They love to weave and use a ball screen. Empty side here. This kid can attack. Nice kick.
Good ball movement early. Lamar Peters pulls it back out. 9 to shoot for Mississippi State. Peters trying to attack Hero. Peters finds Weatherspoon, who turns it over into the hands of Keldon Johnson, sending the Cats on the run.
They take good shots. When it's a 3, it's a wide open 3. Kentucky, that's where I think they've improved. Good balance defensively. Johnson tees it up big.
Defensive rebounding big, both sides in this game.
I think executions, look at that crossover. What looks like our open.
And then Peters gets right to the rim to get it started for Mississippi State, the junior from New Orleans.
How about that lip? Now I would jump his left, but he is great with that little cross and finish.
So an eye on that point guard matchup with Ashton Hagans, who has been terrific, especially defensively, and Lamar Peters, the junior, who's coming off a rough game in the overtime loss here at LSU. Washington off a feed from Travis through the double.
Yeah, they look at that double. We're ready for it. Nice dive to the 10. Big thing, I think, is execution. It's later in the season for one thing, and they both played one another. So you really have to understand footwork, dive, when to help.
It was a 21-point win for Kentucky over Mississippi State just 18 days ago in Rupp.
Got that little hook inside, but
Travis.
Effective that time. Adu.
Adu takes a flop, so right now it's 5-on-4 for the Cats. Hagans into the corner. Johnson 0-for-2 shooting start from 3, and then a foul on the floor.
I think it was Peters underneath with that checkout trying to help out, but this is just gorgeous. The ability to shift the body weight, control it, and anytime there's a double, you got to protect the rim, and that's just tardiness. Weatherspoon, Nick, pretty good defender too.
Foul was on Peters. Nearly got it back on his steal. Hagans nearly walked with it as well. Johnson turns it over. Peters able to finally secure it.
Easy baskets and possessions have to be valued.
Into Reggie Perry, a talented freshman on Travis turnaround. Thomasville, Georgia. McDonald's All-American Reggie Perry.
In the last couple of weeks, he has shown a big upside. I like him around the rim more. Don't settle for the deep one. There's that dive to the box. They love to run. Dribble exchange, post up, Washington.
And then reach around on Adu.
He holds off great, though. I mean, he does widen his arm, and that's a lot to do about nothing. Adu's complaining about that particular. I had to get that one out, by the way, a little bit early. But see the arms spread like that? And technically, that could be called against the offense.
I would emphasize the nothing part of your line in that one, Bill. Straight away. You said Washington could shoot it. He has the first 3 of the game for Kentucky.
Well, you look towards the future. He's going to be a small forward at some point in his life. Great physique and touch from deep.
And his hot stretch started in that rough matchup against Mississippi State.
Nice cut, and they miss him with a kick. Bails out. Washington helps the defense. He possesses so many things in his arsenal. Runs the floor. Hagans drags 2, get them organized, drill it big time, step it in, wide open. They take good ones and not a lot of them.
This is a Kentucky team that has been shooting more 2s than 3s and playing through the inside.
And the defense has really complemented their offense as well. They have been solid. Look at this string out.
Peter Hagans contests, bothered it, Johnson clears.
Ben Howland for years has hung his hat on his defense, and I think sometimes their size limits their help side defense. Another
Washington
one.
left him wide open, and that is easy pocket change for P.J. Washington.
Just a simple dribble exchange, and Ben not really happy with the coverage.
And it looked like the freshman Reggie Perry, who was very slow getting out on P.J. Washington, who has 6 of Kentucky's, has all 8 of Kentucky's. 6 of them from 3s. Weatherspoon gets past Hero on the baseline.
They do a great job of lifting you, giving opportunities either to cut or dribble. And they like to load up on that ball screen.
Tyler Hero, Adu has the board. Kentucky's taken 5 threes already.
That's his game right there. Use the ball screen, get them set, mid-range game.
When Derry Weatherspoon, Canton, Mississippi, hometown of Elmore James.
I like that. You can do some research. You're just not a pretty face watching this game.
Figured you'd be familiar with Elmore James. He's
I know.
Closer to your generation, Bill.
We'll talk about it later.
Even at 8. Washington all 8 for Kentucky.
How about him? Just a little spacing, which is beautiful. They spread you out. Dribble drive. This is what I love. This little ball, he takes one. It's a screen roll replace in the middle of the floor. Really not much attention to detail in a help situation. Well executed and well designed.
Best wishes to Dad Paul, who wore 25 at Middle Tennessee. Had some knee surgery this week. So that's why PJ wears 25. His dad's number from the time of the Blue Raiders. Bob Sherry also played for Middle Tennessee. Holman pokes it away. And the loose ball won by Kentucky. Shot clock still not reset, so Hero has to put it up. Perry clears it.
Got to come up with those if you're Mississippi State. Anything loose has to be yours.
Tyson Carter's sixth man from Starkville High School.
Nice play.
Taken away. Baker, run out. Weatherspoon fouls him, so prevents the layup. But Weatherspoon gets the personal, sending Baker to the line.
You got to step and go in this situation. You can't just pass it that distance, 20 feet across the top, and the giveaway at the rim. This kid is an offensive-minded. Baker, when he started, John just said, shoot the ball. You can win there, have a clear conscience.
Baker misses the first. Want your sports news without the hot takes? Stream CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 network. For more highlights and analysis, download the CBS Sports app today. E.J. Montgomery, the freshman from Fort Pierce, Florida, into the game for Washington. So
playing well lately too. Good rebounder on that offensive glass. Very effective. Can make a three. And long and lean, and a pretty good defender at the rim. Holman on the floor too. He can spread the defense a little bit with his ability deep. Oh, don't open up.
Nearly taken away by Hagans.
Good cut though by Weatherspoon.
Nick Weatherspoon on the block, backs it out. 9 to shoot. Nick Weatherspoon, the sophomore, from the elbow over Baker. Loose ball. It will be Kentucky basketball, out of bounds off of Mississippi State.
Yeah, pretty good look though.
Where do they two-seed in the Midwest as part of that projection that Jerry Palm helped reveal?
I guess, you know, Tennessee's got to be up top, wouldn't you think?
But you figure for Cal's Cats, you got 2 opportunities left against Tennessee.
That's true.
LSU still ahead, so opportunities for some big wins.
It's a long road, as we both know. Things can change. At the SEC tournament as well. Nice entry. This is where he steps. Got a little hook, the double.
Won't go for Quickly.
Big.
A lot of threes. Quickly inside. Perry blocks it away, sending the Bulldogs on the run.
And he gets down the floor. Use him down there in that box area.
He was calling for it against Travis.
I'd like to see him dunk in stronger. He can step back and shoot it, Carter. His dad told us he actually shoots it better than I did, is what his dad Greg said. Very humble by the dad.
Proud to be a Yellow Jacket, Starkville High. Hagans resets. Off the screen from Travis. Back to Travis. The grad transfer from Stanford misses, boarded by Holman.
Yeah, they sort of worked a little better on the defensive end there, whether it's a double or a help. Tardy early.
Holman sets a screen here. He's from Kentucky.
Shoot.
Owensboro, and he steps out.
That was from Owensboro.
Yep. Told us that they were too relaxed in that game at Rupp.
I think Rex Chapman, is that his hometown? You go for the artists, I go for the athletes.
Holman led them to the Red Devils' first state title since 1980.
He wants to get into our business. Nice little hesitation and dish. Bang! Hagans, that's what's make them better. Really under control, not taking bad shots, get everybody involved.
His play of late, one of the big reasons the 9 straight wins, including Kansas, since the January 5 loss at Alabama. Nick Weatherspoon splits it, finds Holman.
Nice.
Off the bounce, Holman gets to the rim, and one with a foul on Montgomery. Eric Holman said to relax that game in Rupp. Not looking real relaxed right now. He's ready to go.
You know, he's very patient, Carter, at the rim, too. Doesn't go right up here. Waits for the traffic to clear a little bit, then explodes up with a chance for 3. They are huge. This is like an NBA team. I think they've got 5 guys, approximately 6'10"-ish, which is extraordinary on a college level. And he wants to be in your shoes someday.
I think he wants to be in your shoes someday, Bill. That's... Eric mentioned Owensboro. That's also the hometown of Bobby Watson. 2-point lead for Mississippi State, Bill.
Mississippi State, I just like this team. They played LSU great here the other night. They are a solid team. Some bad judgments occasionally late and some missed free throws have hurt them. Nice ball movement.
Montgomery finally dropped for E.J. Montgomery.
He's coming along nicely too. Baker passing up an open shot.
Washington 8 points in the first 5 minutes. Getting an extended rest after that.
There's the back screen. No, they don't go for it.
Carter left alone.
Well, he's right on all the time, isn't he?
Montgomery has the board.
Richards loading up. He's got a little more of a hook in his game too, not just a shot blocker. Nice strip.
Yeah, Peters poked it from behind on Hero. Well, John Calipari said, trust me, guys, it's going to be tough today in Starkville, Mississippi, even at 13, 8 minutes in. Kentucky eyeing March and a 59th NCAA tournament trip. On our bracket preview show, the projection for Kentucky, #2 in the Midwest, where Virginia is the 1 seed. And the Vols #1 and the South #1 in the nation. 2 games still to go in the regular season between Kentucky and Tennessee.
Some pretty impressive names up there. Because Iowa State, I've loved watching them this year, but Tennessee, terrific. I mean, they're great defensively. Williams inside, and Schofield, a guy who can play wherever he wants. Rick Barnes is playing, their team's playing great defense. They got 2 left, as you noted earlier, with Kentucky. This will be pretty darn exciting.
On the road to the Final Four in Minneapolis. We're stopping off in the SEC, a loaded SEC in 2019. So
they could get a little kick away by Nick didn't value the ball. Ooh.
Peters, the dude, takes a tumble. Peters brings it back.
Well, that's a long way to fall, too. He is shaking up under there.
The dude has the mouthpiece out and everything on the weak side. Now it's time to get back into the offense. Go set a screen.
Some people think I should use a mouthpiece.
Peters, floater. Big one for Lamar Peters.
If he plays within the game, it's a different basketball team.
He's been fighting through wrist injuries.
Yeah,
Suffered versus Alabama,
right?
so 0 for 4 shooting the other night. Critical turnover versus LSU, but he's playing through it, feeling better on Saturday afternoon.
Automatic switching on the perimeter here. There's the weave and attack.
And Montgomery misses with the left, but then fights to get the offensive board.
He is quick and explodes too. Long and lean.
So off the second chance. Quick look
at
on
this
point.
dive and no cover.
Oh, and then he follows it up. Richards on the offensive glass. So 2 offensive boards on that possession. 1 from Montgomery, 1 from Richards. Even again.
And those possessions are essential, particularly against a high-level opponent like Kentucky, but terrible defense on that trip, particularly on the weak side. Peters
Dumps it off the dude through contact.
Well, he made up for it that time, Peters, but he's got to be alert off the basketball.
Got 4 Wildcats ready to check in at the next opportunity.
And they have not handled the ball screen at the top and dive very well. This is the baseline rubs. This kid is great without the ball. Hero, always busy. Shooting the ball much better too. Nice hands there.
Carter got in. Now 7 to shoot. Hero uses the screen. Hero drills it with 2 hands in his face.
If I played that well, they would call me Hero too. This kid's got a big upside. Going to get stronger as he matures. Great feel, good off the dribble.
Sometimes there's a man. Mississippi State doesn't have a made 3 in this game, and yet 1 point with Kentucky right now. Peters shaking it inside. Power dribble, wipe it out.
On the floor, yeah.
It is on the floor.
Well, Peters gets in that lane. He can mystify. How about this? He actually dribbled himself out of a drive to the basket, but once again, patience on the rim when you're against a shot blocker there. And a little timing, hesitation, uptick.
Quicker to tell you who's still on the floor for Kentucky. Hero's the only guy who stays on the floor for the Cats. And then the other 4 starters back out there to join him.
They have not run their little duck in, the flex series, Kentucky. I look for that to come down the other end, particularly with Travis on the floor. Witherspoon well rested now. See if they can get him going. The elder of the 2, I should say. Nick's the younger right here.
Nick, step back on Hero. fight for the rebound. Tough one, pulled down by Hagans, who sprints ahead to find Johnson in transition.
They just don't take bad shots anymore, Kentucky. There's that ball screen dive. They're just eating them up. I'd run that as often as I can.
And Reggie Perry backs away on the power dribble from Travis.
Well, he was so tucked in under the rim, not much he could do.
Peters brings it up slowly.
Weave, ball screen. This is what he likes to do, get in the lane.
Peters gets past Hagans, but then poked from behind. It is Mississippi State ball, 11 to shoot. Now a discussion.
I think it went off his leg, too. I think they're right. This is the same play. And just the power to discard. Not much Perry could do, that wide frame. Not a bad deal, huh? Stanford degree. Extra year in Kentucky.
Finalist for the senior class award. Our friend Dick Enberg was so integral in getting rolling. Long three, chased down. There is Travis, the grad transfer.
By the way, Dick was a real pro.
Lots of space for his analyst.
And a well-educated one. Look at this kid. He knows offense, doesn't he? Hero, a little step through when he has to. Everybody is a tough out on Kentucky. Good feel for the game. Hero and John not smiling. Gonna have to be delighted.
Let's take a look at the Jersey Mike's game summary. Both teams shooting over 50%. Kentucky on a 7-0 run. PJ Washington is shooting 100%.
I'm not suggesting that you could make these shots, but wide open, you're going to get a high percentage. First, the dive to the rim that sets this up. Little ball screen and dive. Look at the overreaction and the lack of coverage on the ball screen and replace. And he has been wide open and able to drill him big time. Big fella. Some power and yet some touch.
And we know from watching Ben Howland's practice yesterday, the message was get out on PJ Washington. He can shoot it.
But their defense has to really button up. They've run a lot of things. Weak side has been inattentive, really haven't covered that ball screen well at all. A little double screen out of the timeout. They love to go inside.
Quindary Weatherspoon has only one field goal attempt so far. Mississippi State's leading scorer. Do in tight, gets foul on Travis.
And that's what you need to get to the foul line at least. Not a terrific free throw shooter.
This week, Colbert's all new with Bradley Cooper, plus Trevor Noah, Regina King, and Monday, don't miss John Oliver. All new Colbert, all this week on CBS.
They use a dude to pin down and lock people in the lane in the 60s from the free throw line.
All quiet at the hump.
Yeah.
Adu, the sophomore from Lagos, Nigeria.
How about Ben? Well-traveled, successful wherever he's been.
These guys were together in San Antonio 2008, the year that it was all 4 #1 seeds. Cal with Memphis. And
what were you then, 14?
Ben Howland. I was in San Antonio. I was in the building.
What were you just at the nursery?
I was trying to remember where we crossed paths on the Riverwalk, but it's a little hazy.
There's the pin down on the rubs on the baseline. This is a little better coverage. Much better.
Hagans off the shot fake. Nick Weatherspoon tried to draw the charge. Play on, and Keldon Johnson does. High off the window.
Nice little kiss. Great release and decision on that. Good piece of officiating, too. I don't think it was a charge.
Gary Weatherspoon, the younger brother Nick, off the curl, attacks, and Nick Weatherspoon gets to the hoop.
And they've been able to drive it. Kentucky not keeping the ball on the perimeter.
And Quindary Weatherspoon hasn't scored yet. Nick Weatherspoon has 6 for the Bulldogs. Norma Jackson High School.
This is where he's become effective. Everybody straight, a nice footwork. Nah, go right up with it.
Tried to drop it off for Travis. Weatherspoon takes it away, and then Hagans gets it right back. Hagans, hero, runs the floor and gets the payoff.
How about that? Great hands, make yourself bigger. You're giving them easy opportunity. You got to make Kentucky work.
Hagans has 5 assists already.
By the way, John is a master coach, though, on the sideline. We've watched practices. Yesterday was just a shoot-around, but they have gotten so much better, and each year it's hard because they're brand new kids, virtually. Steps.
Yeah, he walked. Chuck Jones is on top of it.
The harassing defense causing major dilemmas.
You know, that discussion about Kentucky's defense, I mean, John Calipari says Ashton Hagans has really led the way at the point. And if you defend the ball, you give up fewer open threes, right? That's basically how it works?
Pretty much. Have you ever thought of going into coaching?
Sure, absolutely.
People are impressed with your...
I'd like to look up your record and see if I can better it.
Well, anybody could. Which way, by coaching or by
Some of your records I'm never going to touch.
They are really getting open looks, good screening. And Johnson, we just saw him get to the rim that time, just drilling that deep one.
Kentucky's largest lead, a foul in the post. That's going to be on Travis, battling with Reggie Perry. And that'll be the second on Reed Travis. So that's a big one for the Cats.
This Kentucky team, they really run a lot of stuff. Those are baseline series. You see how late they don't stay connected. Took the high side, paid for it with a little fade to the corner. They take good shots and consistently are drilling them.
An important correction here. One of the first foul that was given to Reed Travis, it was in the books and then switched. That is the first on Travis. Definitely in the books as one earlier on Travis. Must have changed it there in one of the breaks.
Now John knows people. Holman on the floor now, guy. We said, look at this spin.
Peters gets past Hagans to create. Holman takes it off the bounce instead. Woo, can't make that one. Perry, there's a fresh shot clock. Perry goes up, and that's an offensive foul on Perry.
Oh, he turned
with Travis.
He turned and threw the shoulder in Carter. I thought they would just do a play on this one. But this is one of those exposure. Look at this wall up. Just enough to distract and cause the problem. And then on this particular play, Perry ends up with the shoulder. Maybe a play on would have been better done.
Chance for Kentucky to go up double digits for the first time.
Look at this load up and nice oh no.
And then Holman reaching around trying to poke it away from Washington.
Now I couldn't see the backhand. Maybe he did that cornerback deal where you pull the shirt or the jersey. But I thought he did a really nice job. Goodness. Play on.
Back-to-back tough ones on the Bulldogs. Washington in the paint. Floater.
Nice job defensively.
Perry walled up that time, didn't he?
Perry, big presentation. They got to do something, get to the rim, or they love that drive and kick to the corner, but Kentucky's really covered, not getting that open look.
Reach in on Washington. Tuesday on FBI, it's a full day of twists and twisted turns. Don't miss a thrilling new episode Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS.
Johnson doing a great job on Weathers from Quindary. He has not had touches, hasn't had opportunities. Right here, this is what I like. He can bring it up. That could have been a backcourt.
Mississippi State still doesn't have a made three in the game. Kentucky's lost all three losses. They've given up double-digit threes.
Now you can see how much better they are on both sides. Look at this same play and the ability to finish because of strength, knowledge, and a terrific looking pass to the post area.
Travis through contact. Kentucky leads by double digits for the first time on a 7-0 run.
And they put the house to sleep, too.
Quindary Weatherspoon still scoreless in the game. Finds Peters 0 for 4 from 3 now for Mississippi State, but they keep it here with a fresh shot clock.
We're talking about Kentucky doing so many good things on the offensive end. The same play consistently, and then the power using the shoulders to ward off. Stanford's loss, Kentucky's gain. Big fella, Travis.
And now trouble getting it in for Peters right in front of the Kentucky bench. Finally to the rim. Woodard can't get it to roll in.
And this kid's a good player, too. He can make shots for them. Just off the pines, really not ready. Nice gamble here by Peters.
Baker able to track it down, and now Hagans will reset.
And John knows what's been working. Calls the same play. Ball screen, dive. Look at this. Open look.
Right into the hand of Hagans. Nice pass from Montgomery. And now kick it out, Baker. How about a third chance?
Too many opportunities against a Tough team.
Baker in the paint. Floater finally goes on the offensive glass. The Cats control. They lead by 12. 18 days ago, it was Mississippi State's worst offensive performance in Rupp. And the Cats are handing it to them again here at Starkville. 9 straight for Kentucky. Wish Pat McCarthy, son of CBS play-by-play man Tom McCarthy, well, injured this week. And nothing but well wishes and love for the entire McCarthy family,
Absolutely.
including Pat.
Love talking about his sons, too. God bless him. Hope he's doing well. And, of course, Quinndary, 18 points today, not one shot, and he gets 12 and a half, roughly, shots a game. They need him. He rings that 20-point bell. They usually are very successful in something like 22 wins.
And how much credit do you give to Keldon Johnson defending Quinndary right now?
He has been right on him. You got to keep yourself moving if you're Weatherspoon.
No points, no rebounds, no assists, only 1 shot for Quinndary Weatherspoon.
And he is too talented. They put Carter in maybe to ring the bell a little bit. Good shooter, is noted. Doesn't need much room either. Got good elevation, good length.
Consider the bell rung.
Well, a little bit, but this is the end that's been their demise, I think.
It certainly cost them in the overtime loss against LSU on Wednesday night.
A nice job this time, forcing to catch that far out.
Travis back to Johnson.
They got the switch they want.
Reached in. A new bump.
The guys are smart, though. Johnson knows, get at that leg a little bit, cause the contact.
Second on a due, so Perry back into the game. By the way, the earlier foul in Kentucky that was given to Travis for his first, that was on Johnson. So Travis and Johnson each have 1.
We really haven't had any go-to offense, so maybe just we've seen a little dribble drive, but maybe just some post up and some cutting at the other end. There's the weave and usually a dive. Well, they got the ball screen, or they dive to the box.
Travis gives it up. Johnson off the curl. 5 to shoot. Shot fake. Play on. No foul on Weatherspoon. Perry finally clears it for the Bulldogs. Mississippi State 0 for 4 from 3-point.
Quinndary not mobile in the corner, really. He's got to be more at horn set. 1 high, 1 low.
Carter. Woodard off the shot fake. Good one. Got Montgomery in the air and gets to the rim.
Well, they know he can shoot it, so they bit. Good heads-up play. A little pump fake. A little juices flowing in the building now and causing a timeout for the Cats.
And yet, still Kentucky by 8. Mississippi State doing its best to fight back at home at the Hump. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg, Clark, and Seth have first half analysis, catch up on scores and highlights, plus a recap of the NCAA's top 16 seeds as of today. Also the latest from Pebble Beach. That's coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg, like Charlie Watts, holding it down, so Clark and Seth can do the Mick and Keith thing.
A big thing, I think, you got to switch your defense if you're Mississippi State. On the ball screen, maybe trap it. Maybe go under. They don't take bad shots. Get like here, go under. But why? 2 played 1 again. Come on.
Peters reaches in, but somehow finds its way into the hands of Hagans, who has the 3 out of the timeout. 3 more for Kentucky. Back to an 11-point lead.
He doesn't take many threes, but just plays within the system. Nice mid-ranger.
5 made threes for Kentucky, none for Mississippi State. Bulldogs had only 3 in the matchup in Lexington. It's a long 2 for Carter.
And nothing, Quinndary doesn't even get a shot. He's got to get emotionally into this game.
Hagan sprints ahead. Peters doing his best to keep up with the freshman. Reclassified, so a young freshman. Poked away, Washington gets it back. 9 to shoot, a minute before the half.
Nice catch.
Washington. Couldn't finish, but a foul. Bailout foul on Perry.
Boy, what a pass by Hero, but more importantly, what a catch. Turned and facing the basketball. That looked like some of these mystery calls thus far.
And that's the second on Perry. So both starting big men for Mississippi State have 2 before the half. 2 on Adu, 2 on Reggie Perry.
Boy, this kid really is a big, strong guy that's going to get bigger and stronger, I think. Got a great frame, good feel, understanding of the game.
He had the first 8 for the Cats, and this is his first point since that run. He got him started today and showed you the great numbers during the last 5 for P.J. Washington. It started in the game 18 days ago against Mississippi State.
You know, some guys can just score easily. You know, things come their way.
Bulldogs need something good before the half.
Well, they do. They got to score, get a nice stop. A nice denial.
Travis pokes it away from Perry. Peters doing his best to get it back. It is all Kentucky headed towards the half. Perry off a good contest from Woodard. And then Washington and Perry get tangled up.
A double technical.
Don Daly immediately to jump in there. Ben Howland is really frustrated by Reggie Perry right now.
It didn't have to. He got the ball, chance to get a hoop at the other end, and this is just. Oh, that was that. I guess the arms got tangled. That hook and hold we've heard so much about.
And then
you know what?
Swinging the elbows. Washington does a little bit of talking, and
you know what though? I would just say, hey fellas, come on over here. I don't know if it warrants. There's no hook and hold there.
Ooh.
Oh, I see a little. Yeah, he's.
And so the officials will go to the monitor to see if we have a flagrant 1 or potentially flagrant 2. You have the double technical, and this is going back SEC Birmingham offices as well, weighing in on this, along with Don Daly, Chuck Jones, and Owen Short. And here is Chuck to come over and discuss it with it.
Hey, Bill, we're going to look for a double technical foul, but they want to see if there's any flagrant doing a live ball when they're switching elbows.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. 2 elbows, one begot the other, would you say?
So the double technical stops it, and that's already in the books, but now you're looking to see if there's a flagrant 1. Flagrant 2 comes with the ejection.
I hope not. I mean, it's you know, guys testing one another. You get hit, you sort of retaliate.
So really with that flagrant 1, you're also, I mean, that the possession is the big immediate impact of a flagrant foul.
There's one that starts it. And actually, that should have been the foul call right there, I would think. And it's one thing referees like to do is call the first one. I think they just give the double technical.
Double technical, in which case it would be point of interruption. Right. Mississippi State basketball with 33 seconds. But flagrant 1, personal foul that is deemed excessive in nature or unnecessary, not based solely on the severity of the act. And then to get to flagrant 2, severe or extreme while the ball is live. Clearly the ball live there. And there's your 2 shots, possession and ejection being the big penalty in the flagrant 2.
This is a big situation. Of course, you gave me a flagrant 2 like you approached the.
Yeah, you didn't take the ejection though. I tried to. Yeah, you didn't walk away.
But I'm looking at Cal. You know, he is mellowed, by the way. I think. Of course, when you have the success he's had. Looking at some of the numbers here as we check it out again, 7 Sweet 16s, which is 6 Elite 8s. Of course, the championship in 2012. But this is a situation, big decision for these officials. I would prefer just a double technical. You know, I don't think it was letting them know that we're in the neighborhood kind of a hit. Big John Thompson used to say, it's just a touch. Because this guy's touch bigger than most.
So we will see what the. Now, what we're hearing it, and there's the official word. No flagrant, double technical, point of interruption, Mississippi State basketball. So nothing flagrant, and now here is Owen Short to explain.
Setting Class A unsporting technical fouls against blue 25 and white 1. White had possession of the ball. We had the technical fouls. They will get the ball side out.
At the point of interruption. Thank you, Owen.
I like that. Of course, Ben probably looking for more. But interesting enough, Perry actually started it with the elbow, and of course the response there.
Yeah, and that gives Perry 3. So that was part of that double technical. It's Washington's 2nd, but bigger there, Reggie Perry with his 3rd. And with a stop down, Ben Howland going to try and get him reorganized for the last 33.2 with Perry on the bench with 3 personal fouls.
I make sure I only get 1 shot here. I don't want to give Kentucky another opportunity. I'd run it down as far as I can.
Mississippi State basketball at the end of the double technical.
Exactly.
No flagrants called.
Point of interruption.
Impactful foul on Reggie Perry, his third. Now, can Quindary Weatherspoon, who's third the SEC in scoring, scoreless in the first half, and there's a bump foul that's on Johnson.
Boy, that'll help, huh? You get a chance to get into the game a little bit.
Second on Johnson.
It's really interesting. Teammates have to help you too when you're struggling. He has not been moving with Derry, but he's got to become more active. But also they've got to look for him. The one thing they love to do is drive to the baseline and kick, and he's been a recipient over the years of an open shot.
And that's how the first half has gone for Quindary Weatherspoon. Still a 0 up there for the senior, who averages 18 a game. And another chance for Kentucky.
Now, why are you stringing it out when you go under like that?
Travis Long, too, and it is a 15-point lead for Kentucky on Mississippi State. It was P.J. Washington who got him rolling with the first 8. 7-0 to close it out. 15-point lead for Kentucky. That is the end of the first half. 40-25 Kentucky. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. AT&T, more for your thing, that's our thing. And by Capital One, what's in your wallet? The Cullis and Gladys Wade Clock Museum here on campus in Starkville. I think the Bulldogs would like to turn back the clock to 12:06 and start this one over again, because you look at the Sonic first half stats, and there are some big zeros for Mississippi State, and there's everything good for Kentucky. So the largest lead of the game for Kentucky is 15 points at the half. Carter Blackburn, Bill Raftery. Dare I say Kentucky's defense has continued and traveled here to Starkville today.
They have been really solid. Now, I know where you were watching clocks while I was at practice, but they have been magnificent. It's all about executing on both ends, and this is why this team, that is a very difficult cross-court pass. Here the denial. Travis really an extension. Big hands, make yourself bigger, make a good decision in the open floor, and counter that with very inferior play by an outstanding player. They need him to light it up, not so much to start taking shots, but get some energy going and get this building behind him. He has not had opportunities, and part of it is his fault, I believe.
And that's a lot of zeros for a guy who has had the hot hand. But again, you credit the Cats with slowing down the Dogs. Bully 21. I think that's been the highlight so far of the afternoon for the Mississippi State fans here, because the Bulldogs, and again, this is a critical one for their March ambitions. You've already let one slip away against LSU earlier this week. So 3 separate runs of 7-0 or better in that second half of the first half.
And the difficulty, too, is, Ben Howland, traditionally a terrific defensive coach, and not the response you'd expect from his kids. Let's have to do a better job on ball screens. How do they handle it? Do they go under and stay at home on the dive man?
Just like Seth talked about at the half. And the critical foul trouble with Reggie Perry on the double technical. He has 3, so Perry is on the bench to start the second half. Washington attacks his replacement, Eric Holman.
And that's the same play, only on the sideline. Ball screen roll, and he has loaded it up because he makes the 3. He owns you a little bit now. Can put it on the deck and be creative.
I mean, credit Kentucky's offense, but this looks pretty easy right now on this end of the floor, right?
That's what they love to do, that kick.
Nick Weatherspoon finds Peters. First made 3 of the game for Mississippi State.
Hallelujah.
First time they've gone an opening half without making a 3 since November of last year. Washington off the bounce and gets to the rim unopposed.
Wow, you've got to space a little bit, get in the stance. Played the ball screen a little bit better, but didn't move the puppies.
Luger's going to check in. Next chance for Mississippi State. Peters, good screen from Adu. Peters pulls up at the free throw line.
Good shot, though. You've got to think consecutive stops if you're Mississippi State. Over the top, better defense.
Better result.
Yeah, better. Well,
and then Hagens pokes it away from Peters, nearly got it back after one of the better defensive trips for the Bulldogs.
This is the guy that's got to get it going a little bit.
Quindary Weatherspoon, hand in his face.
There you go.
And he has his first bucket of the game.
He doesn't like to play early.
Right. 12:06 local time was too early for Quindary. He's been playing great late. Scored 27 Wednesday versus LSU. Only one of those from the free throw line. Got another reach-in foul.
Yeah, this should set up his ability to drive as well. Just a little help from his friends. Much to do about nothing, and now about a little nylon like Quindary. I've just loved watching him play, and it was almost shocking where he was just not maneuvering, not setting his guy up, and they weren't looking for him.
He got the Lennon McCartney reference in too. A little help from his friends.
Very good. No, I did get that one.
Into Travis again, facing up on Adu.
Nice.
Gets the block. Travis trying to recover, still got it. Forward to shoot. Hagens recognizes it, launches it. Shot clock violation.
How about Adu? This is number 101 blocks for Adu in his career. Great positioning, wall up, elevate big fella. A little juice going with your program.
In just 2 years, he's a sophomore. 34 blocks on the year. Lagos, Nigeria.
Nice
Peters,
cross.
crossover on Johnson, and that creates for Woodard. Hagens has the three. Bulldogs bombing away from three to try and get back in it. And yet Johnson lost that one on the way up, got a block.
I got it on somebody else, I think, maybe Weatherspoon. No, they got it. Yep, they do.
On Woodard, his first.
But they are so efficient, Kentucky, aren't they, Carter? They both ends of the floor, so you can see their growth, their maturation, and the guy in the sidelines has a lot to do with it.
I mean, the whole point is to get better through the season, and certainly from where they started getting blown out by Duke. I mean, that's a distant memory now. But even starting with the loss at Alabama on January 5, and now to be at this point with 9 straight wins, and even with a young team, you're taking it on the road.
It's called patience, really, and let them develop, extending the floor here a little bit. All the nice little things they do. Very solid in the half-court man as well.
During the 9-game winning streak, they've been holding opponents to under 60. And they're D'ing up the Bulldogs today. Quindary Weatherspoon was walled off. So play on, and Washington does. Tapped out. Travis has it. Fight for the loose ball. Peters knocked it out of bounds. It is off of Peters. Kentucky keeps it.
They are not happy here in this building. Well, you can just see how scrappy Kentucky is as well. But that was a great cut at the other end and showing a lot of life. Weatherspoon. I just love the way they set things up. They start one way and then they get the post up. Pretty good defense moving Travis away from the box.
Hagens off the bounce, kick to the corner. Washington spins in for three. Another one for PJ.
He is out. He is really on top of his game.
That is 3 for 3 from 3 for 6'8" man out of Dallas. Weatherspoon lost it. Travis has the board.
Wow.
And then Woodard gets it right back, creating the best look of the day for Quindary.
How about that? The different guy. I don't know what happened at halftime, but Ben gave him an earful, I'm sure. But a great response early.
None in the first half for Quindary Weatherspoon. 6 points.
Slipped to the empty side here.
Woodard picks it up. Open floor. Woodard finds Nick Weatherspoon. Hard to the rim, and it spins out. That's how the day has gone for Mississippi State. Nothing doing for the Bulldogs.
But they are scrappier now. What a different personality. He has what he wants now.
Peters drives on Washington. Adu in tight with a foul on Travis. Well, the effort's starting to come around for Mississippi State, but clearly Ben Howland not having his best Saturday.
Right now he's got to play it a little bit better. He's got to be happy. Bulldogs, a little more excitement in the building.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey's averaged to boost men's basketball, bearing fruit in 2019. Tennessee back to #1 for the first time since 08. Blues Pearls Vols beat Cal's Memphis Tigers to go to #1. Kentucky rolling now with 9 straight wins. Great year for Will Wade, the new kid on the block at LSU. And then both Mississippi State and Ole Miss, Kermit Davis, got the Rebels and Bulldogs in position to get back into the NCAA tournament, but Mississippi State had 2 opportunities this week. LSU and Kentucky let LSU slip away in overtime, and now down by 15 against the Cats.
Yeah, played well enough to win that, but some mistakes late. But you're right about LSU. Of course, Kermit went to school here at Mississippi State.
Right.
But, you know, a lot of this started with the name coaches they have in this conference now. Very successful at other programs and come in here. And then Mike Triagisi was hired a couple of years ago to really just see the landscape. And they talk about improving schedules and being more competitive, playing higher rated teams. And all of a sudden, you may have 8 or 9 teams this year because of all those right away on the timeout. And that's a pretty good play. Travis upset he didn't knock it down.
Get it into Travis, and that's his 3rd. Tomorrow on CBS, don't miss once-in-a-lifetime performances by Cardi B, Dolly Parton, Diana Ross, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Lady Gaga, and more. Live on the Grammy Awards tomorrow, 8, 7 Central, only CBS.
See, those names I recognize.
Right, especially Dolly Parton. I'm excited to see that performance.
When you go current, I'm extremely removed. Good
calling out more names current.
Good help.
Perry ends up with it and gets a foul on Richard. So Mississippi State getting aggressive.
They are.
Hanging some fouls on Kentucky.
They're motion, they're moving, they're cutting, they're giving better screens. And you've got to think Ben's been around so long that he understands. Sometimes you don't recognize your team. Sometimes you don't recognize your partner.
Right.
I understand that part. I don't blame you for it. But you've got to sort of get into them a little bit. He's not a vociferous, you know, he's much like myself, mild-mannered, always in control. Well, somewhat.
7 straight now for Mississippi State to try and get back in it. Ben Howland, a native of Lebanon, Oregon, Northern Arizona, Pitt, UCLA into the NCAA tournament. Trying to get Mississippi State back there for the first time since 09.
Why?
Yeah, that's another bat's on Reggie Perry. It's his 4th, and just a very frustrating day for the McDonald's All-American from Thomasville, Georgia, as he's headed back to the bench. His 3rd was on the double tech, and that silly 4th one.
Young. He'll learn. Big upside with that kid. Why foul that far from the basket? They can't hurt you.
His dad, Al, played point guard for Kermit Davis Sr. here in the 70s.
There's a lot of father-son combos with connections here. Carter, one of them.
9 to shoot. Hagan's off the bounce, finds Quickly.
Good play.
Dumps it off. Richards on the way up, bothered at the rim. That is a wipe it off, shot clock violation.
How about that effort at the rim?
And you can feel the defensive intensity picking up here in Stark Vegas. Gonna go back to the monitor for something in that, some of that physicality.
Tell you what, that's just a play on. John, I think he thought the defender put the hand in the rim. You know.
Moon Township, PA, John Calipari. You guys go back to the 5-star days, right?
Well, I remember him at 5-star. He was very young, obviously. But I also remember as the youngest assistant at Pitt. And at halftime, they would have these youngsters come out. And Sean Miller did it as a young guy. We're going to get some heads up here.
Is it?
Chuck?
Is this got a new one?
Yeah.
We're looking for a potential shot clock violation. See if the ball hit the rim on the block shot.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Chuck, on the mic.
Take a look at that. I thought it hit the rim there on that first one, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, getting back to John for a minute, hundreds of kids swarmed the floor, and he had taught them all these beautiful ball handling drills. Let's just see here. It hits the rim. Yeah, so it's got to be.
So therefore, should have been reset.
Yeah.
Right, and so that when you already got 29 on the clock up there. Wow. So
Check this out.
Immediately, remember that's a good another point there from Cal saying, hey, let's go to the monitor because that one may have hit the rim, and in fact that is correct. So therefore, no shot clock violation. Kentucky basketball reset of the shot clock and only one tick off of it. A chance to work through your offense in the half court.
Great spread.
And then Hagans couldn't get
Montgomery over the top.
Yeah. It was a tough trick for E.J. Montgomery.
But great wheels.
That's his second
job. Clearing areas and making easy deliveries.
Well, that's an odd trip down the court. Shot clock violation that wasn't, and then Montgomery gets the foul.
Yeah.
So Mississippi State, they've whittled it to 11, down by 15 at the half. Peters. That looked like maybe touched by Richards.
Look at this fortuitous bounce.
And then not so fortuitous on the bounce. Peters keeps it alive, hustling to get in the hands of Woodard, who goes right back up. And at last, Mississippi State has cut it to single digits.
Now that's what you expect when you come in this building. That much energy, and that's helped them.
9 straight. Started with defense.
Hero's got to get busy too. Standing still, he's very good using those baseline bumps.
Quickly and Hagans on the floor together. 7 to shoot. Good look. Richards knocked away last second. It was knocked away by Peters, picking up the big man on the roll.
Great job. Oh, a little quick freeze three. Woo, that would have brought the house down.
Montgomery has the board. Hagans pushes.
Well, they push, but they always make good decisions.
Hero pulls up and hits. Tough one.
The Weatherspoons gamble set it up. Why sell out, denying at the sideline by the coaches? Get back in defensive position.
Quiet the crowd.
Takes
Get the lead back to double digits. Said Hero needed to be more active. There he is.
Well, he's really got a good offensive mind.
Quindary Weatherspoon. Hero's hand in his face, and now Quindary's starting to feel it after the very slow start.
Too good to disappear like that. Somebody gave him some Cheerios at halftime.
Well, we know we can close. 5 career game winners. 9 in the second half for Quindary Weatherspoon to lead the comeback.
And those baseline runs. Hey, look at the giveaway here.
Quindary takes it away. Ahead, Woodard. Missed again at the rim. The Bunnies have been rolling out all day for Mississippi State.
Wow. Softly, you deliver that. They got the bigs on the floor now. Watch offensive rebounding. Montgomery and Richards, they got steps.
Hagans walked in the paint with Peters D'ing it up. Mississippi State trying to fight back. 50 years to the day after a huge upset win over the Cats, they try to do it again. The world's best has talent from every corner of the globe. This week, get ready for more incredible acts like the vocal wonder who's just 12 years old. James Corden hosts The World's Best Wednesday, 8/7 Central, only CBS. 1958, Kentucky was the world's best. They won the title. Then in February 9, 1959, here in Starkville, the last time that Mississippi State has beaten a top 5 Kentucky team. That was the Johnny Cox-led Kentucky team.
Of course, that's when I was listening to Elvis and Pat Boone and wearing white shoes. But right now, just the energy level is so different with this team, so they're executing better because of that. More activity, more involvement, more emotion, and this guy's starting to step up and take over.
Follows his miss. Quindary then lost it out of bounds.
Good call.
Chuck Jones was on top of it, along with Don Daly. Out of bounds off Quindary Weatherspoon. So that was a golden opportunity out of the timeout. Literally rolls away. And
defensively, they've really stepped it up as well. Let's see if Kentucky goes post play now. Ball screen dive or cross screen and a lock low. There it is. There it is.
Into Washington. On Woodard. Washington,
over the top.
Yeah, then goes over the back, going for the offensive board. So Washington compounds it, and that's his third.
When you play against an outstanding team that has an outstanding coach, after a timeout, they're going to throw a wrinkle at you. It's usually a power game, getting a great shot at the rim. The rest is guys making plays.
Big possession here for Mississippi State. Cut it from 18 down to 8. You see Washington go to the bench and Montgomery in.
And I like Carter on the floor now because you got another shooter to stretch the floor.
Perry's out there with 4. That's how big it is right now.
Nice.
Mississippi State. Woodard with the hammer off the look from Nick Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon with the drive, but Woodard with great anticipation at the rim.
And then a silly foul by Nick Weatherspoon after he had the great assist.
Well, when you do dribble, drive, a lot of things happen. Guys get in the right position, don't count the house. Generally, they like to spread the corners, but you can see the late dive set that up. If you don't cover him, they generally have a kick out. And a guy that Ben admitted wanted to get him more minutes in the LSU game. A terrific offensive performer, and a nice, I think there's a good rest right now for Weatherspoon.
Averages 18, scoreless in the first half. 9 in the second.
Travis locks low on the curl.
Johnson blocked by Nick Weatherspoon. And now Nick running the floor, and a foul on Hagans. From 18 down, Mississippi State has cut it to 6 with Nick Weatherspoon headed to the line.
It all starts with great defense. They cover the curl well, and then just watch this bounce pass right on the money. Terrific look. Catchable, and an opportunity for 2. Really pretty defense, and it's all because of getting involved. Invested in the game, and pretty good response from halftime. I'm sure the coaches got after him about the lethargic play.
I remember this started for Weatherspoon after he committed the foul, got back on the block, and one of the first things Ben Howland told us about his team, the defensive intensity from Nick Weatherspoon has been inspiring and seems inspired right now.
I thought he played Borders the other night pretty well as you can play. He is what a talent that kid. He can go any place he wants on the floor and be effective. Plays with a lot of confidence for LSU.
It was 15 at the half. Kentucky pushed it to 18. And now midway through the second half, a 5-point game.
The hero on the floor. He keeps active. See if they use Montgomery.
Hagans to a rolling Montgomery. Adu bothered it on the way up, but got a foul.
Got to be a jump ball. Should have been a jump ball. Pretty good reaction.
And that's the third on Adu.
Just nice little roll now. Wow. That's a shame. You don't want your big guys reaching down. That may have been a foul there, but the foul was actually called later on the jump ball.
And Montgomery misses the first of 2.
These are great tests for teams, any team, but a team like Kentucky, you know, they've really gotten into their game. They understand how good they can be, really solid on both ends of the floor. So this test helps you come March.
And the Cats have been terrific from the line. Now, not so much on this trip for E.J. Montgomery, but they're 75% and shooting a lot of free throws.
Pin down. He can shoot it.
Carter, hero bumped him, play on. Woodard fighting for it. Montgomery clears it. Hagans pushes. On the wing. Baker left it short into the hands of Perry, and now Carter with a snowbird. Dunk to pull the Bulldogs within 3.
Well, Daddy's got to like Dad. How about Dad? Why not? Coach at Starkville High School said, my son shoots better than me. I think he's got hops, so too, Dad.
Timeout Kentucky as the Yellow Jacket turned Bulldog leads the way from 18. It's a 3-point game, and Cal's Cats are getting the test they expected in Starkville. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. And by Zaxby's Chicken Fingers and Buffalo Wings, Zaxby's.com. Mississippi State on a 17-2 run. Let's take a look at our AT&T Fast Analysis, Bill.
Well, all SEC right here. A little crossover. Center occupies big. Rolls the lane. A little nylon, and why not? A little brother. Drive, draw, get everybody's attention, and then woo, big time hammer from a good shooter, Woodard.
They won 2 state titles together, Velma Jackson High School, and they have keyed the 17-2 run. With our producer, Mark Wolf, director, Bob Fishman, Carter Blackburn, Bill Raftery, Starkville, Mississippi, where a Kentucky blowout has turned into a tight one.
They really haven't run that little duck in where they have a flex cut. I thought that would be effective for Kentucky.
Out of the timeout, 7 to shoot. Hero on Nick Weatherspoon through a bump. Boarded by Quindary Weatherspoon.
Now, when he gets a little older, he's going to be stronger. He'll be able to take that hit and finish that shot, Hero.
Mississippi State didn't have a 3 in the first half, 4 in the second to key the run.
They got a hold, trying to fight over the top. Johnson, he had a hold of him.
3rd on Johnson.
He's pleading to Cal as though Cal's got a whistle. Right here. You can see how you can see the arm interlock. I can see that. I mean, they clean up play, dribble drive. And this guy is in the game right now. Q.
Spins in to give him 10 in the second half after a scoreless first half.
What a difference in the complexion of this game, mainly because of mental attitude and adjustment.
1-point game.
I think you got to ride Washington a little bit right now. I like the mid-post with Washington.
Travis faces up.
Got him on the other side if you want him.
Where Washington comes to screen.
Stuck on one side of the floor. He makes the cut. Good move.
Into Washington, flop, no call. Washington finishes.
That's the guy. He made that play. He was waiting on the other side. Gave up on the ball reversal. Terrific read by a power broker.
When the Cats need one, they go into Washington. Now 19 in the game. He had their first 8. Peters turns it over. Sending the Cats on the run. Hagens, Hero. Nice. In transition, Johnson. Hagens gets it back. A little bobble. Kept it alive. And nobody stops the ball. Hagens gets right to the rim.
They thought he walked. That's what I think. The white shirts were looking for a whistle. Gotta keep playing.
So after Mississippi State got it to 1, the Cats have an answer. Peters in tight.
Too tough.
Travis, who had 3 fouls, and now a frustration foul.
Peters just he gets a little too deep without a decision. Cal, comfort zone right now. Back in it a little bit for Mississippi State. Cal pleading with his guys to step up on the defensive end. Right, Washington.
Number 5, Kentucky by 5. They shut out Quindary Weatherspoon, Mississippi State's leading scorer in the first half. Second half, a little bit different.
Well, he really has stepped up, no question about it. Very lethargic, really didn't look and move. Started to react a little bit. Got some help with some bumps and spacing. Good crossover dribble here. The ability to a little nylon from deep, but he's the guy. If this game is close coming down the stretch, he's going to take over for Mississippi State. But right now, it's almost like come down and run your stuff with your Kentucky. Take good shots, which they have all game long. Must get a touch inside from one of the 2 bigs, particularly the way Washington's playing. I think it's got to go through him a little more consistently.
Washington had hot starts to both the first half and second half, a total of 19 to lead the way for Kentucky.
Little pin and lock. There you go.
Calling for it. Hero gets it to him off the double.
He doesn't take a bad shot. That's what's great about it. The repost I like, and a good open look.
And then Hagens fouled by Nick Weatherspoon. The Cardinals send fouling the three-point shooter coming out of the timeout.
And not one of the great three-point shooters. He struggles rough. That'll be 4 for 22 coming in. And this is just that lunge, not a good, oh my goodness, unless he gets him on the end of this thing. Because you have a right to come down. Boy, that was a nickel dimer up top.
Well, Higgins may be starting to feel it. One made three in this game, as you pointed out, just the 5th made three of his freshman season. And then now to the line for 3. And after Mississippi State got it to 1. I missed the second, but still. That's 5 straight for Kentucky following the 19-2 run for the Bulldogs.
Higgins really does so many other things. He doesn't have to score, but he can bite you. I mean, just good leadership qualities, gets them organized, both on the offensive end and on the break. And defensively, well, he is a tough, tough kid.
2 of 3.
Now you got to muster it up again. Kentucky took the hit. And they got some balance.
Carter on the wing.
Yeah, Perry really, they don't even look in, and he doesn't lock his guy and beg.
Peters step back on Travis.
Woo!
Nails it for the 5th. Made 3 of the second half for Mississippi State. After they didn't have one in the first, they're not going away.
Well, he took advantage of the switch, big on little. Had him on a string and converted. Much better post defense, too. The three-quarter denial. Nice curl. This kid really uses the bump beautifully. Nate Johnson. Variety. A little spice in the knockdown, too, with the hook.
And Reggie Perry, who's got 4 fouls, had to back off as well. 9 in the game for Keldon Johnson.
Nice little exchange defensively.
Peters splits it, dumps it off. Perry, Washington.
Great jump.
You can tie up. Yeah, get a tie up. Possession arrow will keep it on this end, but it is a tie up.
A nice pass by Peters. This is where you've got to pump a little, get the guy in the air. Don't just commit initially. Pump and let him go up first and then finish the deal. All about experience, and he's going to get it someday.
And now just 10 to shoot for Mississippi State. Baseline inbounds.
Hugh with the double. Nice.
With Darren shot fake, open 3, short. Hero has it, ahead to Johnson. Around 2 Bulldogs. Johnson somehow gets to the rim.
And he lost in that is Hero shortening the floor with a magnificent little basic fundamental chest pass.
And how about the toughness from Kentucky? I mean, Mississippi State charges back to make it 1. They cut it to 4 again, and the Cats have had a response. Perry lined it up, thought about it a long time.
Foul there, I think, on Washington.
Yep. On the fight for the rebound with the do. 4th on Washington.
The good teams do little simple things, and what a look. Half the court on the money, and just lead your guy to that 10.
So Washington will sit for a while with Kentucky up by 8. E.J. Montgomery checks in. And I'm sure how long Washington sits will depend on whether Mississippi State can keep it close or not.
Well, this is the thing they have going, though. They've got Travis now that they can counter with on the box. And the activity of Hero really helps things, too, because they hand edge to help him on the curl.
Air ball. Yikes. That's not pretty.
Yeah, an empty trip. Takes the air out a little bit.
Plenty of air.
Yeah. Big stop, I think, right now. Mentally, can get you in touch. Johnson and Hero so good without the ball.
Johnson in tight on Adu. Got another foul on Adu. That's 4 for him. Perry also has 4 for the Bulldogs. Tonight, 6 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. The 6th-ranked Nevada Wolfpack looks to protect their undefeated home record when they welcome New Mexico, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Nevada's only loss was at the Pit. And now the Lobos are coming to Reno, with the Pack going for their 9th straight win since the lone loss against New Mexico.
There's so many efficient players, though. And what John does is he molds them into doing everything for one another. And some of these guys can really take over a game if they want it, but they always play within the system. They're very sound.
Now that's Perry coming back in with 4, replacing Adu, who has 4. And again, P.J. Washington 4 for Kentucky. Just 15 seconds ago. Back to double-digit lead for Kentucky.
Was that guy talking to me? I heard awful.
I heard awful. Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it so loud, Bill. Less than 5 to go. Mississippi State cut into an 18-point lead and got it to 1.
They were really active without the basketball. They spread, they can kick, or he can finish.
Perry backed off a little bit with 4 fouls, and then
they can give it to either one, Montgomery or Travis.
Just want to double check. Yeah, and there's the discussion with Calipari and John Robick, and yes, indeed, that is the 4th on Travis. So now Washington and Travis both have 4.
Comes in with both of them playing together. I thought he might yo-yo them.
So Perry out there with 4 for Mississippi State. Washington and Travis both 4 for Kentucky.
Woodard only 57% for such a good shooter in the free throw line. They look to pick and pop with him.
That is a lot of foul trouble.
It sure is. And the Bigs are banging one another pretty good. I like the competitiveness of this game, though.
Ooh, spins out. Washington has the board. So now able to attack the rim more with all the big guys in foul trouble, right?
Or if you don't dribble drive, do some post up and get some activity that way. Look at this right out.
Washington got displaced by Woodard, and that's one of the things the officials are keeping a close eye on. Displacement in the post.
And you really have to be a good displacer if you're pushing Washington that far.
Right, right. It is difficult.
He does hold off great.
You see Washington roll like that, he has been displaced.
It's definitely a little harm. Now the yo-yo starts.
Right. Travis out, Montgomery in. Montgomery has only 2 fouls, so he's in the best position of all the Wildcat post players.
And then Nick Richards, too, can be a real prevention at the rim for them.
Off the free throw miss, Weatherspoon has it.
Johnson almost came up with that.
Nick Weatherspoon crossing over, lost it. Hero touched it. Bulldogs get to keep it.
See if they can get a little jump shot for Q Weatherspoon on this particular out of bounds. Hit and follow.
Peters attacking on Hagans. Peters tries to dump it off. Woodard ends up with it and a foul called.
Montgomery, I think, on the other side because it was all ball on the one side.
And it is. That's a break because P.J. Washington was down there as well, but Montgomery gets the foul, his 3rd, rather than Washington's 5th.
I think we're going to take Washington out this time. Let's see if they do that. Travis up.
Going to be a lot of yo-yo down the stretch.
Oh, goodness. Trying to steal some minutes.
Walk the dog, rock the cradle.
All the slogans, kid. You picked them all up from Boeheim, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. All the charming wit and the sliding slogans, right, yeah.
That's why you're so pleasant to everybody.
Lions, New York. Well, Woodard and Mississippi State have got back within striking distance, down by 5. Adu, who has 4 fouls, back into the game for Mississippi State. Perry's out there with 4 for the Bulldogs, and a critical stretch for Mississippi State's chances of a major upset.
And you got Washington on the floor. If he's in, use him, and they do.
Washington takes it at Perry.
Look at this kid.
Offensive board, step back. Neither Perry or Adu could come over and stop P.J. Washington.
He's got a big-time Valentine.
21 in the game now for P.J. Washington. Another offensive rebound for the Cats.
The dude really just a screener out there.
Peters, and the Bulldogs needed it from Lamar Peters. Back to a 4-point game. Timeout, Mississippi State. Lamar Peters, some New Orleans mojo. All Casey charging hard despite Lefty's great weekend at Pebble Beach. Jordan Spieth at 11 under 2. Bill Raftery's put a few in the ocean at Pebble Beach.
I sure have.
So how did the Cats survive this test, Bill?
Well, I just think what they did the last trip is very important. Get Washington going. He's very unselfish. He can finish on his own and counter that at the other end. I just think Q's got to step up again. There, he's great at the end of games, likes the ball, dribble, drive, and kick. He can finish or he can step back with the 3. I think those are the 2 mainstays that should get touches.
Adu, Travis, and Washington all on the floor with 4 personal fouls.
They got the bookends running. Hero and Johnson using those curls. Pretty good defense. Here they go again.
And Woodard denies Washington.
What a great job, huh? He made him catch it that far out.
And now 7 to shoot. Washington needs help. Puts it on the deck. Woodard, they dig in. Weatherspoon knocks it away. Hero throws it with 1 second to shoot. That's your Hero.
Big time dagger. Early Onions out of Milwaukee.
Sauteed. Peters answers.
Wow. A counter.
New Orleans Onions.
Yeah.
Jambalaya. And still Cats by 4 with 2.5 to go. Seeking a 10th straight win.
Now this is better with Hagan outside.
Travis diving.
A great defense early.
Shoot. Total difference in defense for the Cats. Hero can hit it this time. Shot clock violation. Hero saying he was bumped. A 2:09 coming up next is the 3rd round of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Coverage is now available on PGAtour.com and CBSSports.com.
The last couple of trips, defense by Mississippi State, vintage Ben Howland.
Kentucky led by 18. Mississippi State got it to 1. Cats had a response. And now with 2 minutes to go, 4-point game again. Peters left it at the rim. Travis fights in. Peters is on the deck, gonna stop it down as Lamar Peters took a pop after he missed the shot, looked like.
Travis accidentally, as he came back for the basketball, you can just see here as he comes down. That's just a clean basketball play. They're going to look it over, but there's nothing anybody can. He's trying to get out of his way. Ooh.
And Lamar Peters is a tough guy.
I'll say.
That's to take one, a direct shot like that. Again, they're going to make sure there's nothing in conjunction with Birmingham to make sure there's nothing flagrant, but that looks like a basketball play to you, right?
And, you know, interesting enough, there's so many layups missed. I think there's 4 layups that Mississippi State unable to finish, and that's not a rip through intentional. That's just protecting the basketball, and I think they just got to keep playing.
We had a double technical earlier in this game. Harry and Washington got tangled up, but again, taking a look at it, Don Daly in conjunction with the SEC offices, nothing there. Basketball play, all good. And now here's Owen Short to explain.
Contact. We did incidental contact.
Good.
Good explanations from our officials.
I mean, they've had a tough day here.
Don Daly,
Chuck
Jones,
a lot of
Owen Short.
competitive plays that, of course, the house here wants them to go their way. This has been.
But you're right about the layups, Bill. I mean, Mississippi State has missed short ones all day, and you got a 4-point game with a chance to beat the number 5 team in the country.
Absolutely, you got to finish the deal, no question about it. They're going to extend the floor a little bit now.
On layups today, Mississippi State is 5 for 13. I can do the math on that. That's 8 missed layups.
Learning how to finish amongst the bigs. We trapped too.
Ben Howland switching defenses late against Kentucky. They'll back off into man.
Once again, they got the 2 on the box. The guys run the baseline, and they just try and lock low. Again, no cross screen or that little flex thing. Here's the pick and pop high.
7 to shoot.
And they 2 go with 1.
Washington shot fake. Shot clock winding down. It is a blocking foul and 1 for P.J. Washington.
That's how the game started. What a call from John Calipari. Same thing. Ball screen, 2 follow 1. Little pump fake.
And the 4th on Weatherspoon.
I'll tell you what, I think he was sliding. Don't you? At the end, but goodness, the defensive lapse outside has just been so harmful to their cause.
Missed the and 1, but still 23 in the game for P.J. Washington to lead all scorers.
Peters likes to take over. I like this guy here. Whether we're going to ball screen, either go all the way, and a chance.
Count it! And 1 for Quindary Weatherspoon.
He loves this time of the game. It's nothing but individual ability. Good control, the strength. How about the little kiss finish? And nobody around because of the lift, the deployment.
And the foul's on P.J. Washington. He's fouled out. You saw the look on his face when the whistle was blown, because P.J. Washington with 23 points is the first to foul out today on an and 1 with Weatherspoon headed to the free throw line. A chance to make it a 3-point game.
Well, you really need guys to make plays, and Q Weatherspoon that time just took it in his own hands. If anything, they should have jumped him and made him go left.
E.J. Montgomery replaces Washington. Reed Travis out there with 4 personals as well for Kentucky.
And he's going to have to be the guy that's going to load up on the offensive end. He's got experience, toughness. He's got a little hook with either hand.
14 points all in the second half for Quindary Weatherspoon to lead the Mississippi State comeback. From 18 down, 3-point game. A minute to go, Bill.
Not as effective because Travis not going to make the jump shot. This guy will take it.
Johnson attacks. Perry fighting for the rebound. Who wants it? The Cats get it into the hands of Johnson. Fresh shot clock and a chance to run the clock down.
Yeah, you got to play straight now. Big time rebound.
Montgomery kept it alive. Got it into the hands of Hagans.
Watch out for Johnson now. He and Hero very active. They got to go, I think, right now.
And now with 7 to shoot. Screen from Travis. Hagans looks off. Finds the corner. Montgomery now off the bounce. Late in the shot clock. 3 won't go for Hagans. Mississippi State.
Gotta go.
Overtime
Quick 2.
Earlier this week
go
against
to the
LSU. Here's Quindary. Bump. Play on. Johnson has it. No call. Foul given by Peters. So Quindary Weatherspoon attacks. Does not get the whistle.
They made him go left. Very important. Off balance. He wanted to foul, tried to draw the attention of the officials. I think this is a good non-call. I think he got the ball too at the end of it. Forced him left. I'll tell you what, that's pretty good. I know the crowd here, and if I were on the bench, I'd be screaming too. But boy. Quindary did the right thing, though, going to the basket, get the quick 2. Would have been like 12 seconds left. You could give one, stretch the game out.
Second shot coming here for Hagans. And what is right now a 3-point game. A critical point for Hagans in Kentucky.
You gotta go right to the rim.
Peters drops it off. Weatherspoon shot fake, using time off the clock into the hands of Johnson, and Kentucky will escape Starkville, Mississippi with its 10th straight win. 71-67. The Wildcats get the test they expected on the road at Mississippi State. Go to 9-1 in the SEC.
Great learning experience on the road to the NCAA tournament. They keep growing. Toughness exhibited today.
Still more to come from Starkville, where Kentucky wins it 71-67. The growth of the Kentucky Wildcats through this season continues with a hard-fought 71-67 win over Mississippi State. So it is now 10 straight since the January 5 loss at Alabama. Still more to come from Starkville, where the Cats win it by 4 over the Bulldogs. Kentucky gets its 20th win the hard way, 71-67 at Mississippi State. So for Bill Raftery, this is Carter Blackburn saying so long from Starkville, 71-67 the final. Coming up next, it's third round coverage of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the 2019 Men's National Championship.